Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another quick unboxing for you guys, just giving my opinions, my first thoughts on what this is, which you probably know again from the title, but this I've just received. It's called the APFG MCX Spear LT, and this is the 11-inch gas blowback rifle edition. So it is an airsoft replica. It is not a real firearm. If you're watching, this is not real when I open it up. And this is just, I've received it and I thought you guys might be interested in what it looks like. I know they came to the market and actually they sold out very quickly. So this is the September 2024 model. I actually bought this from Octagon Airsoft, which I was unsure about using them as a retailer when I first saw them. They had the F-word sales on their front page, which I saw it and I was like, this must be a fake retailer, but actually that got removed. I went to Reddit, saw some reviews about them, saw they were right, so I bought quite a few products from them now, but this said it was going to be a September 2024 release. I had to wait actually until the start of October, but not a big deal. But I was very excited to get this because I've seen some great reviews online and apparently it looks and feels pretty great. So I'm going to open it up. We're going to have a look at what I think of it. Very indescript kind of regular packaging. As most of you know, this is actually VFC. It's called APFG, which is a subsidiary of VFC, and I think that was to do with licensing details. Licensing issues where they had the licensing with SIG, lost that, and therefore they had a lot of these replicas that are unbranded, but they did not want to get a lawsuit. This is me kind of learning from other people. Did not want to get into a lawsuit and therefore are kind of selling it under the APFG name. They are sold without trades. Now this obviously looks very VFC. If you're used to VFC products, they always seem to come in this see-through plastic bag. Even the actual Elite Force Umarex Glocks that I've bought and actually I really love, they tend to come in that exact format where you've got a plastic bag and it is kind of this very simple cardboard packaging. Now this looks awesome. I have to say the finish of it just feels really, really good. It's kind of got this obviously brushed kind of bronze feel, which I think actually looks amazing. So obviously this one has, and it comes with the folding stock. I know that with Toxicant and with some of the other brands that do copies of that, they don't come with the stock, they don't necessarily come with a pistol grip, and this one comes with both. So I'm very excited. I'm going to move this box out of the way. I'll grab the other pieces that are in here first, and I think that is it. And I'm going to move this box out the way so that you guys can see this properly. And here we go. So this is the APFG Spear LT 11-inch version. So it is your MCX style SIG assault replica, I'm going to call it. So I believe the US Army have now got a version of this that they're using, and it is I think got quite a good, well received so far. They're kind of transitioning from your M4 AR kind of base platform into this, and the big change that is there is that it does not have a buffer tube, so you do not have that spring reciprocating with the bolt that's inside. I'm not going to open this up today because I know that can be some issues with YouTube, but what I will try and do is a review video of this later. But to be honest, from what I was expecting, it is exactly the same. You're probably seeing a bit of a difference in color here between the upper and the lower, and actually the pistol grip, I believe that's kind of your normal SIG mix on these DE style replicas, or sorry, the DE style assault rifles that they usually do. And actually I think once you get used to it, it's kind of cool. This is, as you can probably tell, actually got branding on it. So it has got the SIG MCX multi-caliber. And the reason that it has this is what I really love about buying through Octagon is that they offer this version which will give you the laser markings. Now, the price of this normally is $545, which I think is actually relatively good for what you're getting. You know, I've spent up to like 750 plus just on your MWS, you know, equivalent, your Tokyo Maruis, which are I don't think necessarily, they feel very similar quality, but obviously this is $545. And what they actually end up doing is with all this laser markings on it, which mainly you can see is here, the trades here, that goes up to $560. So it's actually $15 to get this done. If you're a milsim guy and you really like having the trades on it, which I have to say I do really like it, it's probably worthwhile spending $15 extra. And I believe that Octagon are one of the only retailers that will do that. I've not got a magnet with me, so I'm not going to go through all of the steel parts, etc. But this stock feels solid. There is a little bit of wobble there, a tiny bit, but it is attached to a Picatinny rail. I'm sure I could secure that slightly, and the wobble, I can't really show it to you on camera because it is so small. And if I fold this and it clicks in, you know, it's kind of got a little bit of movement there, which you would expect. But the thing feels really, really good. Probably better than how I was expecting. There's a little bit of dust on here, a couple of tiny little marks, but they are actually just kind of like push off marks. They're not really anything that's going to affect the replica. The reason I actually bought this because normally I'm very, very MWS. Like I love MWSs. I love any kind of variant of them. And I love the MWS system. However, I recently, as you may have seen from the channel, got the VFC or the APFG, sorry, MPX-K, and I absolutely love it. The feel of it's great. I have put some real rails on it, etc. But what I really loved about it was the trigger response. Now, those obviously run on your MPX-K mags, so it's not really like, oh, I've got all these MWS mags, that's going to be an issue. But these ones actually run on their VFC gas blowback system, so it's a completely new set of mags. So it's expensive to be buying a whole new set of mags just for that reason. I believe the mags are probably around, yeah, about $45 to get a new mag for this. So if you're buying 5 or 6 mags, it's expensive. But actually, I loved the trigger pull so much on that replica that I think I was just kind of like, right, I'd love to actually get that. And I'm hoping it's going to be similar on this. I'm going to rack the action for you. I'll have the bolt stop, which is there. You've got the regular bolt stop there, so I'll show you that as well. But what I do really like on this is that little handle there. That bolt lock is not working. Oh, yes it is. Okay, so when I do this, that's really good. It's a solid spring, this thing. Like it's a really, really solid release. Even though there's no kind of spring in the back here, it's all kind of a single part bolt or a half bolt right there. So fire selector, that is really stiff. I think it's ambidextrous on this. I would say it's a good stiff. It's not going to get pushed or tripped, and it is harder probably than the other ones that I've had, but not to a level where it's annoying. So that's going to be that. And the trigger, which is the most important thing for me, yeah, that's really awesome. So it's got a tiny bit of give, take up. It's probably not the best way to show you guys. Tiny bit of take up here. And then goes, and the clack that you kind of hear, that's what I really love. It's kind of got this really, I don't know what it is. It's kind of this really like clean click that goes through, which is where you don't have the MWS kind of Z plate, etc. I'm not going to open it up, as I said, but I really, really like it, and it's going to be awesome just to see what this is like firing. So I will again do some shorts on that. I'll do a proper video of what that looks like. But I have to say, I love the trades here as well. Well, not the trades, sorry, the fire selector indicators right there. QD point here, QD point here. I don't think I'd ever attach that. You can get a whole load of other stocks for this, which I was looking at, but actually I quite like this very, skeletonized lightweight stock. I think because I went for the 11-inch version, it does feel like it's going to be quite front heavy just from the feeling at the moment. But I do love the ability to click this straight in and have it like that size. You can get, there's I think a 9.5-inch version or a 9-inch version, and there is also the Rattler, which is like a 6.5-inch barrel in this LT. And I have to say, I like this LT more than the original MPX a lot more. Like it feels like the actual grip on it it's just awesome. You can kind of C-clamp it really well with your hand there. It comes with an orange flash hider, and this is a bit of a weird one. It's kind of like, I don't know if I can show you, it's like a 3D printed version. So it's almost got those little strings there. Hopefully that's going to be quite easy to get off, because I don't obviously want to be using that, but they have to sell it under US law. They did have this imported obviously from Hong Kong, and that is another thing to mention, is that they can be very, very specific with these. If they're not supposed to be allowed, they're not necessarily going to let them through customs. So I would definitely know that that is going to be a risk if you are. Look at that, that's so cool. It will be a risk if you're wanting to go that route. So there's the safety, take the safety off. There you go. So that's great, guys. Obviously, we'll have a look at what else comes in it. I don't want to keep waffling on too much so that you guys are, you know, getting bored in this. But I have to say, so far, my impressions are fantastic. Here is the flash hider, which I think is the real one. I presume they're not going to give me another orange one, even though they have wrapped it in this orange tape, which is really annoying. And again, it is in the standard bag, which VFC APFG put everything in. And it looks like a very, very cool flash hider. I mean, that's going to be sat on there, just to give you an idea. That's what it's going to look like, which I think, you know, I'm obviously going to change that out. So that's going to be probably grabbing it with some pliers. You know what actually I've just thought about, which is awesome, is that this is actually like hexagonal in the shape of it. One issue that I have getting these off is that if I have pliers on there, they'll kind of slip round unless I put some masking tape or gaffer tape on there, which is, I've just thought that actually this is going to grip on this way easier. So if I'm trying to torque this off, then that's going to be good. There is a little O-ring there as well, which is going to be awesome to actually just give me that proper seating. Here I'm presuming this is the mag, which again, yeah, is in the standard plastic bag, which everyone loves. And this is the grey one, I think, yeah. So these are the new version 3, I believe, internals and the version 3 mags. I've heard, and I haven't used these yet, but they are really solid. If you drop them, they don't really do anything or don't break. It does have a bit of a weird, you know, tube thing here, but the best way to tell is that it's got that there. There is no gas in there. The valve is on the top, which is great, because if you're dropping it, then it's not going to affect the valve, or shouldn't do as much. I'm going to put this in here. Again, this is empty mag, and this is not a real firearm. That locks in amazingly. There is no wobble on that at all. The bolt lock works perfectly. So obviously it's got no gas in it, so this is not going to do anything. But I'd love to see actually what that is like, and we'll have a look at that very soon. Other things that it comes with, I don't know how to do that, is the Spear LT instruction manual, which is great, in another bag, of course. And then it has a speed loader with an adapter on it. And I think that is also really great, because gas blowbacks, loading them is historically very, very difficult. Obviously, you're putting 30 rounds in these and not your 100 plus that you're putting in a AEG mid-cap. But obviously, having an adapter on there that's going to be able to work with this really eliminates some headache. And the other thing, guys, I quickly was going to show you is this, which is actually a real SIG sight LPVO that I've got. It has very cool on here, because I got the 11-inch. I thought I'll actually get an LPVO, because if you guys aren't aware, an LPVO is going to allow you basically to have no a 1x optic. I can't show you there. I think we just froze on the camera. I can't actually show it to you because it's not going to show through the camera, but it's actually a very, very large lens. It does 1 and it goes all the way up to 6 times. So I've actually got this on a reel still that I have, and I love it. But I thought if I'm going to be using this as an 11-inch, and I'll position that probably about there. I'm just going to do this roughly, guys, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. Again, it's a kind of different tone of your bronze DE, but I think that's going to be really cool. You know, if I put a suppressor on here, probably won't run a tracer tracer unit on it, because I think this is going to be an outdoor platform, because it's obviously not that short, being an 11-inch barrel. But I think that looks really cool, and I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on that. Do you think it's going to look cool, or do you think it looks like it shouldn't look like this, and I should change it. The only thing I do think is this being that skeletonized, it does look very front and center heavy. Okay guys, that's going to be me for today. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. As I said, I will be doing a full review on this, so I'll be showing it to you firing. I'll give you some updates on what I think, what it's like when I've used it, and if I think it's worth the money. But I have to say, from my initial opinion, and if you're thinking about getting it, I would say it's, you know, recommended from the 6mm. See you on the next video, and have a great day wherever you are. Goodbye.